I wanted to take you in action. And pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. Welcome to the board meeting for February. So we do have a classified appreciation week is March 3rd through 7th. Is that on there?
Yep, just want us to acknowledge since we won't have a board meeting that month until after, so.
Oh, okay. Well, we appreciate all the classified staff and they do a really great job. And it's very important that we. All right, any adjustments to the agenda?
I do not.
Okay. Any public comment on non-agenda items?
I do not.
The consent agenda, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor? All right, approved. Fiscal overview, Lacey, she's not. She's not here. Okay,
She just said that if you guys didn't read her report, to just review her report. There had been a comment that came in from one of the budget committee people about our enrollment being down. And we've answered that question, but basically, she budgeted at a lower number and our SIA monies have came in. And so some of the general fund money that we were spending, we are now gonna use SIA money for it. So it's actually putting a percentage back into the general fund.
okay. All right. Reports and discussions, superintendent.
I don't have a lot, just kind of an FYI for next week, for basketball, just so you know, the girls, if they win, I'm just gonna pass over tomorrow night, but if they were to win on Friday, then there would be a playoff game in Coquille on Friday the 21st against Bandon. They'd both be 9-1. If they were to lose at Oakland, the playoff game, they would host Oakland next Tuesday. And then the winner of that then would go to Band. And then, of course, that's all the league playoffs that don't happen either other than that. And so that would be, then winner, the top two then to get, state playoff. So that's coming up and coming up soon. Other than that, like I said, the seismic, we will know end of April, 1st of May, whether we receive that seismic. That seismic is kind of, as we move forward, that will kind of, and then I will adjourn the facilities committee. And knowing that we're going to have the seismic, and then we can, I've said to the board members before, I would like to put in place before I leave next year, the 5-year plan so that you know exactly what you're going to be spending and spending down, and et cetera. So that's going to really, that's really going to depend on the seismic and what happens here. And if I think it's, they were very, very positive that it would happen. So 2.5 million, which is supposed to be busted to 3.5 million, could revamp this building to the point where it wouldn't need anything else. And then it would be, like I said, that would include the new roof, et cetera. And I think would be in pretty good shape moving to the other buildings. And then, of course, we know that the greenhouse is going in soon. So that job will be done. Just another one down. And the roofing in the district is in good stead. So it's a matter of kind of knowing where we're going to go and kind of guesstimating. And that's hard to do, guesstimating student enrollment over the 5-year course, because there's kind of ebbs and tides. And we have a couple of peaks in some classes and then some are lower. So now that we'll have an idea, but like I said, it'll help us move forward with the facilities, knowing that we have the seismic. Because if we don't have the seismic, then we have an issue. And that issue would be this roof. And that's the biggest thing, that's the biggest money maker, the big money breaker, I should say, in the district. That's the maple roof. So that would be tragic if we didn't get it, but it could still, you could still make it, but actually it would be hurt. So that's about it. Other than that, we had, semesters over. We're in week 2. Hillcrest or Maple has their dance on Friday. 6th graders from 3:30 to 5, 7th graders from 5:30 to 7. So that'll be fun and entertaining, I'm sure. And then, and we are just an FYI, we are breathalyzing all 7th and 8th graders coming in because they're going home. So if, you know, like in the first one, we didn't do that because they all bust over. So we can keep track of them the whole time. 6th graders this week will be bust over, so we keep track of them. So they're under supervision the whole time, but 7th and 8th will breathalyze, as they walk. So that's how we're doing at Maple and around the district.
Okay, any questions for Steve? All right, enrollment report.
550-ish, and that's, I wouldn't be concerned unless we got down to the 538 to 540 number. You know, because if the state does what we think they're going to do, and the projected governor's budget even comes close to where she started, and that's that, you know, and usually it actually rises from there. So I would, you know, the state school funds in great stead, I think. So knowing that, I don't think we're going to take a huge dip. You know, that roll up should pay for the roll up in PERS, et cetera, that we want our roll cost for next year, because we've already, you know, in the midst of that, we've already done the license. So we know what the roll costs are going to be for license next year. So, and with the PERS increase, but like I said, I think if it comes in at 10.5, 10.6, which is what they're estimating, and we're a long ways away from being there, but if that were to happen, I think, like I said, we would be in pretty good shape. But you know, this district at 550 is sustainable. When it gets down to, you know, when you start, if you get down to the 530 area, it's tough. It would be tough sledding. We would be overstaffed. I wouldn't say that. We wouldn't be overstaffed, but we would be in a situation where staff cuts would be a possibility. If it went to that. Right now, that's, you know, that we're not there, but again, that's where the kind of the breaking point is. I would say to 525, 530, it would not be a good situation for this district.
Questions for Steve? All right, moving on to second reading of November policy updates. We went over those a little bit last week. Any questions about those policies provided by OSBA? Food service flooring quotes for Maple Middle School.
Okay, I will go over it first and I'll let Dan then open it up to Dan. So you have two quotes for both. And this is paid for by food service. Okay, this is not general fund dollars. This is food service dollars. So the actual flooring, this is the actual flooring that we're looking at. It's different than the one that's at Maple. So if you look at the first one, and one's 38,876, and on the Midwest coast is 31,428. That's the floor that went into Maple or went into Hillcrest. Okay, that's that flooring. And you look at the next bid, which is 65,729 or 59,973. That is this actual geofloor sport floor, so that we can turn this back into a, you know, use for community serve, you know, et cetera. Two things. One, it doesn't ever have to be. It's not. You don't finish the floor finish annually, so you get rid of all those costs. So you know you're not redoing. And this comes with the actual leveling portion of it. So the whole floor needs to be portioned, because you're going to see there's a nice bump in the roof down behind us. And then it also comes with a sheet of plywood, and then the floor. So that's inclusive of that bid. And what I would say is we're actually comparing apples to oranges. So don't think of this as the same floor because it's not. I mean, there's a $31,000 floor and there's a $60,000 floor. And one is longevity. Two, this one can be painted. We're having a little struggle painting Myrtle Crest. We're going to try to do it this summer, which we try to do at the same time. So that's what we're proposing. And again, we have the dollars. They have to be spent quickly. I think by
April, the mid of
March 30th or something like that. This would be installed spring break, if we went that direction. Dan?
Yeah, so basically, yeah, it's apples and oranges. Either take what we got here, either quote's gonna level it. One's gonna level it, different than the other. If you end up with the floor like the cafeteria has, it's more like just a cafeteria. I mean, it's sheet, it's planks, they're all glued together. So if long term, I mean, this is our only gym here, so you kind of need the sports side of it and the food service. So that one ended up being a little slick. We gotta keep it real clean. But at ProCrest, but it's also never, we don't play games in there. There's the PE in there, that kind of thing. So the two quotes, the Midwest for 59, what they're gonna do is they're gonna come in and lay 1/4-inch plywood over this whole floor and then self-level. And it won't be much by the time they do that. The other quote is just put self-leveler on there. They're probably both gonna last, which one's gonna last longer? Yeah, I mean. Plywood on top of this, you're gonna eliminate that. Self-leveler, whatever it's gonna do to this floor later on down the road, whether it separates or who knows what this coating's gonna do. It's one's a little cheaper than the other. They're both the same product. That's more of a sheet. The sports floors are like a big roll, and then they glue it and weld it. The other stuff is gonna be it's gonna be self-leveled and then glued down. So repairing the other stuff probably easier because you just peel up one piece and glue it down. But I mean, at the end of the day, you're gonna have a rock hard surface versus something with a little bit of bounce. And yeah, I don't know. To get something that's not as slick in the lower end product, it's probably gonna be harder. And then, I mean, even harder, more abrasive, so it's gonna be harder. So when you're food service wise. And it might crack, and if it's cracks, you're repairing it. It is apples and oranges, but. At the end of the day. New flooring. We look long term whether you need to do the cheaper one now and then wish you would have done the one in the long term, so.
So how far is 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch or 3/8? So you have to redo all the doors for clearance.
I think that this one will be good in that one, but that over there might end up transitioning down into that room.
Mhm.
But it's like a 1/2 inch high in the middle versus the outside.
This,
That's high. Bit.
Yes.
so that she needs one, will do it differently. So
Yeah.
That's right. Well, both of them are level. One just plywood. didn't
Right.
help,
Right, but this one you wouldn't have to worry about. The self-level.
Because it will go without the plywood.
Yeah, that's the Amy's ones without the plywood, right?
So the recommendations with plywood, with self-leveling over it, yeah. So
I would think, coming from plywood background, I would think that, yeah, you build more structure and then put a little level on there, but they're probably both gonna be strong, either way. Basically pouring cement on the thing and then, but it's how is this gonna hold up to that later on down the road? But, I mean, the plywood one is cheaper if you went that route. With the sports floor, either one of them. And that's the only way he's gonna warranty is if he can go plywood over this. And
plywood down with the self-level.
Yeah,
It's top.
he doesn't know what's on this and whether it's gonna affect it later on moisturize it.
So we don't have, I just, clearance issue, no clearance issue with doors. Not gonna create a bunch of work, rehanging all the doors, just new base work.
Yeah, I think it actually will become, it'll probably be even there, here, be even closer than the only transition would be there, probably going down. Yeah, it actually might make it better.
Who did the one at Hillcrest? Either of these? No.
Who did the one from Crest, Midwest? No?
Amy's,
Maybe.
and they still love that blue over there too. It wasn't really on like this.
So the two values, what do we have to prove for a budget? $2.
We have right at, we have to spend 60,000. And then we have, 15 to 19,000 that probably needs to be spent by the first or by the end of June. And then that's still, and then you're still gonna roll over quite a large sum that will go into next year's. So this is just another part of the spend down plan. I mean, kind of nice to have, but kind of amazing. I guess you would think, separate.
paid for that.
Yeah.
And that's on top of all the things that she'd already bought.
Right, yeah. Which we've already bought the floor at Myrtle Crest, and a variety of other things. So this, basically what we were down to two options. Do it this way and spend the 60,000 on the floor, or buy a, Generac, put it at Myrtle Crest, rewire the entire thing, for for the refrigerator and freezers. And thinking about that, it's first of all a rare occasion when we lose things, if it's not, and it might be a couple hours, which is not a big deal. And the idea was either buy the wiring is really, really expensive. So then we might have to rent the Generac. And when the power goes out in Coos County, everybody's gonna go rent a Generac. So it really kind of makes, so that we kind of went away from that. That was the other option to do, to actually use the money, kind of strategically. So we went to kind of decide this is probably the better choice.
So is there a recommendation of one or the other?
I recommend that we go with this floor. 60,000. And it comes with everything.
Both would do the underlayment with the sports floor.
No, the 59,000
Is
will
total.
put the plywood on there and level. The
Right,
other one is self-leveler.
right. Only something
So the
level.
59 with underlayment and so.
Yes.
At the 60.
Strength wise, it probably goes strong.
65 is the same bid, it's just.
Preference.
No,
Plywood.
No, this is, okay, so the $30,000 bid is no plywood, right? Okay, the 60,000, there's a $60,000 and a 65, that's exact same thing. Those are two, you get the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's what we wanted.
Right. So that's why I was recommending Midwest Coast, because it's 60,000, not 66,000.
Yeah, I was confused because I thought one of these was plywood. and
No.
The 60, no.
And we're not worried about a bunch of structural problems, they tear into this, because there's laying over top of it, so they're not gonna be digging into something, right?
Exactly. Not gonna be getting any asbestos.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
It's this long.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, any other questions? About the, all right, moving on to the first reading of December policy update. Any questions about the December policy update?
Sure, I have a question.
Okay.
And I apologize, I was tracking the agenda differently. It's actually, if you don't mind, if I could go back to 8.3 and ask a question about November's policy update. Looking at the graduation requirements under the diploma, which I don't think these requirements roll out for a couple more years. They did require the 1/2 credit of higher education and career path skills and the 1/2 credit of personal financial education to be standalone class. And I know after we had conversation when the State Board of Education was down here and they had went and highly advocated that in order to support small districts where teachers, administrators are wearing multiple hats, that this would be wrapped into combinations. And the legislature came back and said the law was passed It's the state board's job to just pass it along into policy. So now it's standalone. What is the impact on our schools when we have to roll out and to be able to teach these as standalone classes? Is that heavy burden hardship on us or?
I don't believe it is, because personal finance doesn't have a set, unless they teach set thing of standards. I mean, there are some standards, but I taught it for years, and it's the best class there. I mean, as far as, economically learning, that it's,
Really close to our economics.
Right.
That's what's already
and then,
on.
and
So it's just realigning more to that side
That-
than more they
To fit in line, that kind of, the same with the personal, with the higher education and group fast with skills.
It's already on.
Stuff. Okay.
We
So-
redesigned advisory and we redesigned advisory to fit that.
Thank you for answering those questions.
All right, any other questions? Okay, well, let's move on. Any public comment regarding agenda items?
I do not.
Okay, then we'll go to action items. Adopt policy updates provided by OCA.
We were waiting.
Yeah.
Just
I
go
would
slow.
entertain a motion.
I make a motion to adopt policy updates, AC, GCBDA / GDBDA, GCBDC / GDBDC, IIA, and IKF, JECA, JHCD, right by the OSBA. Second.
I spelled it.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor? Okay. 10.2, approve food service flooring bid.
Make a motion to approve the food service flooring bid from Midwest Coast Flooring. One, and the, amount of, for the sports floor. Paraflex sport floor. 59,973 Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Guess I should have, how much is the, how much the paint kit costs? Let's say that.
No, the payment.
I leave this money, you gotta get this up band. Yeah, we painted this up.
All right, so we have some upcoming meeting input, so we'll have a superintendent evaluation that starts at 5 on March 10th.
Better repeat that.
I better put that in my calendar. All right, any announcements? All right, good in the order. We'll start with, Amanda.
I don't know. I don't even know what happened.
See,
I have ideas and let's.
just a blur.
Okay, so I will say something really cool, which is our little kids are all doing really good in basketball right now. And we have first and second graders, the fifth grade team and the sixth grade team are all undefeated in their season. Which is awesome, because they're all little Bobcats and they're all off to good starts and having fun. So, that's it.
All right, Carrie.
Amanda, help me out here.
I don't
Yeah, sports is going good. Looks like the school upgrades are going good. I haven't heard anything negative for so long. I guess we're doing good.
All right. Jared.
Just glad the school buses have made it to town every day. Supposed to be cool again in a couple days, so it's good.
For snow.
That's my guy. Yep.
Justin.
Just excited about the improvements we keep having, the flooring's gonna be great to get that up here, and then the track update is always good to see we're making progress on that.
Yeah.
Cash is always excited to have a couple home track meet one of these days, it's excited to always.
You're volunteering.
Yeah, so everything's good.
Bridget.
Yeah, it's February, this year at Maple. It feels to me, I'm not here, but it feels like everybody's a good flow. Feels like, at least I know from reports from my children when they come home, everything feels good. The teaching, the instruction, the support, continued support that my family and my kids get in the school district. I brag about everywhere I can go. We're very blessed. Going to watch the Bobcats, watching the girls and all of our sports team. I'm so proud. Even on those days when we lose, I'm not a highly competitive person, and so my really competitive friends don't understand that I can just go through it over loss and like, yeah, everybody did great. They're not like that. Competitive people are so interesting. But even in a loss, just so proud to watch the kids, and proud of where we're going. So thank you.
I gotta say, I am impressed with our coaches for the little kids. And I'm really happy that they all stepped up to help out. And, you know, I am happy with all of our coaches and our things are going good. And I'm excited to see the updates to the schools and excited for the kids to get back from BC so they can come tell us about their trip. And with that,
Equestrian.
Next week.
Monday, they leave Sunday at 12:01 a.m.
Yeehaw.
They had to, yeah, take a bus
They head
out.
to Eugene,
They fly out at like 5 in the morning on Sunday.
Out of Orange.
Out of
Eugene.
Eugene.
all right, well, with that, I'll adjourn the meeting.
I have